Hey guys, what's up? It's Egwin again. This time I want to introduce you to this multi-directional or multidisciplinary approach that I choose when talking about development, about consciousness, about physical fitness or the body movement, and in general, a developmental approach to being human. Now, me personally, I believe it's really important to be able to choose between different systems and also to know, not just theoretically, but also practically about different approaches, different systems. If possible, those that are the furthest apart. Now, when we talk about, let's give an example, when we talk about physical systems and we look at yoga, for instance, yoga for sure is an amazing approach to health, to physical health, to mental health, to energetic and spiritual development. But there are also other systems, for example, say Tai Chi or Qigong. So yoga, more the Indian tradition, Qigong, Tai Chi, Chinese tradition. When we look at those two disciplines, just quickly, we say, well, both work with the body, both have sort of a similar idea of what we want to achieve, both try to enhance one's mental and physical abilities. But if we go a little bit deeper, if we look at what kind of body structure a yogic approach or a Tai Chi approach or a Qigong approach actually means, then we realize that the two are really quite different actually. So another example to bring in another discipline would be Alexander technique. Now, I know a couple of people who've been to yoga classes and who also tried out Alexander technique. And Alexander technique is a very interesting method to reprogram and deprogram behavioral patterns, and that's one thing. And the other thing is to actually have this movement approach where it's about free movement, where the main focus is on coordinating the body properly, so the agonist and antagonistic muscle groups properly throughout the whole body in order to reduce pressure in the joints. When you walk into a yoga class and you walk into an Alexander technique class and you walk out and you don't know anything about the body beforehand, then I've already met a lot of people who say, well, which one of those two disciplines should I choose? Because yoga says exactly the opposite than the Alexander teacher says. The two are proposing a completely different body structure. The two are proposing a completely different approach to movement, a completely different approach to mental aspects. And, well, now you can say, well, one of the two systems has to be wrong. And that's exactly the point that I always make. Both systems have things in them that actually lead to a improvement in terms of unlocking potential. But the ideas, the final intention in the two systems is actually quite different. And I'm not going to go into too much of detail here because otherwise it's not going to be a vlog anymore. So basically, yes, there are differences. And one of the things that I do, one of the things that I'm good at and that I also try to share with the world is to say, look, we have a basic framework. This basic framework is something that we call human being or our body or the human potential. And within this framework, different aspects are possible, different approaches to health, to body movement, to body coordination, to mental aspects, to dealing with emotions, to developing your energy are possible. Different intentions can be set, different directions and paths can be chosen. And one of the most important aspects for me is to take a look at different systems, not just to look, but also experience them, and then set them into relation to each other. So to say, okay, well, the specialty of yoga is this and this and that. The specialty, for example, of Alexander technique is this and this and that. The specialty of improvisational dance is this and this and that. And there are some parts where we have an overlap, where one system perfectly complements the other, also in terms of that basic principles are incorporated in one system and in the other as well. And there are some aspects where you can literally say, well, each of those systems is like a different piece of the puzzle that eventually leads to the full frame that we call human potential or human possibilities. And that's one of the main things that I concern myself with, that I try to improve on, and that I also try to lift awareness about in the world, because I'm not such a friend of this dogmatic approach and this fights between systems. Sometimes systems really don't match, but most of the time it's really more about the question, what exactly is it that I want? What exactly is it that I want to achieve? And this is how you choose your tool. And this tool may change the other day or in a week, depending on your intention and depending on what you bring into this approach at that specific given time. Thanks for watching. See you around next time. Have a wonderful time.